Bhutan. Officially known as the Kingdom of Bhutan, it is a landlocked country in the Himalayas. It is bordered by China to the north and India to the south. Bhutan is a southern Asian country and houses a total population of 754,388 as of 2018. Thimphu is its capital and the largest city. Situated on the ancient Silk Road between Tibet, the Indian subcontinent, and Southeast Asia, the land consists mostly of steep and high mountains, crisscrossed by a network of swift rivers that form deep valleys before draining into the Indian plains. Bhutan is rich in primates and is also home to populations of Bengal tigers, clouded leopards, and sloth bears, to name a few. The kingdom has received international acclaim for its commitment to the maintenance of its biodiversity. In South Asia, Bhutan ranks first in economic freedom, ease of doing business, and peace. It continues to be a least developed country, but expects to graduate from this status by 2023. Bhutan's economy is based on agriculture, forestry, tourism, and the sale of hydroelectric power to India. It is one of the world's smallest economies, but has been growing rapidly in recent years. Their currency is the Lhotshampa, whose value is fixed to the Indian rupee. The rupee is also accepted as legal tender in the country. The Bhutanese state developed a distinct national identity based around Buddhism. Around 77% of its population identify as Buddhist, followed by Hinduism at around 22%. Since the 17th century, Bhutan's official name has been Druk Yul, which means Country of the Drukpa Lineage, or the Land of the Thunder Dragon, a reference to the country's dominant Buddhist sect. The name Bhutan appears only in English language official correspondence. The first time a separate kingdom of Bhutan appeared on a Western map, it did so under its local name, Drukpa. Bhutan has a rich and unique cultural heritage that has largely remained intact because of its isolation from the rest of the world until the mid-20th century. The national dress for Bhutanese men is the go, a knee-length robe tied at the waist by a cloth belt known as a kera. Women wear an ankle-length dress, the kira, which is clipped at the shoulders with two identical brooches called the koma and tied at the waist. Social status and class determine the textures, colours, and decorations which embellish the garments. Vari-coloured scarves, known as rachu for women and kabni for men, are important indicators of social standing, as Bhutan has traditionally been a feudal society. To strengthen Bhutan's identity as an independent country, Bhutanese law requires all Bhutanese government employees to wear the national dress at work, and all citizens to wear the national dress while visiting schools and other government offices. Bhutanese architecture remains distinctly traditional, employing rammed earth and wattle and daub construction methods, stone masonry, and intricate woodwork around windows and roofs. Traditional architecture uses no nails or iron bars in its construction. Characteristic of the region is a type of castle fortress known as the dzong. Since ancient times, the dzongs have served as religious and secular administrative centers for their respective districts. Bhutan's national and most popular sport is archery. Competitions are held regularly in most villages. Another traditional sport is digor, which resembles shot put or horseshoe throwing. While Bhutanese citizens are free to travel abroad, Bhutan is viewed as inaccessible by many foreigners. Entry is free for citizens of India, Bangladesh, and the Maldives, but all other foreigners are required to sign up with a Bhutanese tour operator and pay around $250 per day that they stay in the country. This fee covers most travel, lodging, and meal expenses. The government is a parliamentary democracy, and the head of state is the King of Bhutan, also known as the Dragon King. Bhutan is also notable for pioneering the concept of gross national happiness, though the policy has been criticized by some foreign critics. The concept has not resulted in significant improvement in the living standards of ordinary citizens. Bhutan's de facto independence has endured for centuries, although it has historically been part of India's sphere of influence as a protected state. The Royal Bhutan Army maintains a close relationship with the Indian Armed Forces. In 2008, Bhutan transitioned from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy and held the first election to the National Assembly of Bhutan. In 1999, the government lifted a ban on television and internet, making Bhutan one of the last countries to introduce television. Bhutanese people have an average life expectancy of around 70 years. It is also the first nation in the world to ban smoking. It has been illegal to smoke in public or to sell tobacco since 2010. Violators are fined the equivalent of $232, which is equivalent to an average month's salary. Homosexual acts are illegal in Bhutan and are punishable by a prison sentence of up to 1 year. However, some members of parliament have publicly called for the decriminalization of homosexuality. Starting in the 1980s, Bhutan adopted a policy of one nation, one people. The policy manifested in the banning of teaching of the Nepali language in schools, and the denial of citizenship to those who were not able to prove land holdings prior to 1950. Specifically targeted were the ethnic Nepali-speaking minority groups, such as the Lhotshampa. In the early 1990s, the government forcefully deported 107,000 of the Lhotshampa people, or around 1/3 of the population at the time. This resulted in widespread unrest and political demonstrations, as well as sparking a refugee crisis in nearby Japa, Nepal. Following forcible deportation from Bhutan, Lhotshampas spent almost 2 decades in refugee camps in Nepal and were resettled in various Western countries, such as the United States, between 2007 and 2012.